The moment Karen's hand slammed into my shoulder, the room went silent, and her smile said she thought she'd already won. Papers scattered, chairs scraped, someone laughed, someone recorded. I stayed still while she whispered, "You don't belong on this board." That was the second she didn't realize she had just handed me the key to ending her entire reign, career, and reputation in one night. If you love powerful stories, you don't want to miss this. But before we continue, tell us where you are watching from. It makes us happy to see how far our stories travel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Karen ran the HOA like a personal kingdom, issuing fines for paint shades, mailbox angles, even garden soil color. That night's meeting was supposed to approve a demolition notice against my fence. What she didn't know was that I was the quiet partner in the property management firm auditing our community accounts. While she mocked me, my phone was already streaming the meeting to the state compliance office. When she demanded security remove me, I calmly asked the treasurer to read page 12 of the financial report. His face drained. The room learned about the beautification fund that paid for Karen's luxury patio renovation. Gasps turned into laughter when Mrs. Dorsey asked if fake palm trees counted as community safety. Karen tried to grab the microphone, tripped on her own briefcase, and accidentally projected the hidden expense spreadsheet onto the main screen. Justice was quietly beginning. Karen's face went from confident red to paper white as the spreadsheet filled the projector screen. Every line item sat there like a spotlight. Outdoor community lighting that matched the exact model installed in her backyard, security upgrades that somehow included heated lounge chairs, and a landscaping contract signed to a company registered under her cousin's name. She laughed at first. Loud. Fake. This is fake. He edited this. I finally stood, slowly, adjusting my jacket like I had all the time in the world. Actually, I said, smiling, that file is mirrored from the HOA cloud server, and it's been backed up for 6 months. The room shifted. People stopped whispering. Phones came out. Someone behind me muttered, "She's finished." Karen snapped. She started blaming the treasurer, then the secretary, then the old board. Watching her throw allies under the bus was almost sad. Almost. The same people who helped her bully residents were now sliding their chairs away from her like she was contagious. Then came the twist she never saw coming. The compliance officer she called earlier to remove me, he walked in right then. But he didn't look at me. He walked straight to her and asked, calm and polite, "Ma'am, can you explain why HOA funds were routed through 3 personal accounts?" The silence was brutal. Mrs. Dorsey started clapping, slowly. 1 clap, then 2. Then half the room joined. Karen grabbed her purse and tried to leave, only to find 2 officers already standing by the exit, waiting patiently like they had nowhere else to be. And for the first time in years, Karen wasn't in control of the room anymore. Karen's heels clicked fast against the tile as she tried to walk past the officers, forcing a laugh that sounded like breaking glass. "This is ridiculous. I have dinner reservations," she snapped, reaching for the door handle. The taller officer simply placed 2 fingers on the door and closed it gently. Not aggressive, not rushed, just final. The room felt electric. The compliance officer opened a thin folder. "Mrs. Karen Whitmore, we also received multiple resident complaints tied to intimidation, selective fines, and document alteration." A collective gasp rippled across the room. Then Mr. Alvarez, the quietest man in the neighborhood, raised his hand. "I have the emails," he said softly. "She fined me $3,000 because she said my grass was emotionally disruptive to community harmony." Someone laughed. Then someone else. Soon the entire room was cracking up. Even the officers were struggling to keep straight faces. Karen spun toward me, eyes wild. "You set me up." I tilted my head. "No, I just stopped covering for you." Then came the plot twist that shattered her last ounce of confidence. The interim board representative stood up from the back row. The same woman Karen humiliated last year. She held up a signed removal vote, already processed, already filed, already approved pending tonight's evidence confirmation. Karen blinked. "You can't do this tonight." "Oh," the representative said calmly. "We did it last week." Karen's knees actually buckled as she dropped into her chair, staring at the room that used to fear her. And now they were smiling. Some were recording, some were whispering, and some were already discussing who should replace her. Justice had arrived, quiet, patient, and devastating. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The meeting didn't end with shouting. It ended with signatures. Cold. Official. Permanent. Karen sat frozen while the compliance officer placed documents in front of her one by one: removal from board authority, financial investigation notice, and a temporary freeze on any HOA account access. The woman who once fined people for wind chimes now couldn't even authorize a paperclip purchase. I packed my folders slowly, almost respectfully. No gloating, no raised voice, just calm. That seemed to hurt her more. As the officers escorted her toward the exit, she stopped beside me. For a second, I saw the old Karen, calculating, sharp, dangerous. "You think you won?" "Won?" she whispered. I smiled, soft and steady. "No." The neighborhood did. Outside, neighbors gathered under the streetlights, whispering, laughing, hugging. Mrs. Dorsey walked up to me and pressed a small cupcake box into my hands. "For staying calm," she said, "I would have flipped tables." I laughed for the first time all night. A week later, the results became public. Misused funds, contract fraud, formal charges pending review. The HOA announced a full audit and resident-led elections. The fence she tried to demolish, it got voted Community Garden Feature of the Year. Kids painted murals on it. Flowers climbed across it. It became something beautiful, something shared. And the strangest part? Peace returned. Neighbors started talking again. Block parties came back. People felt safe speaking up. Sometimes revenge isn't loud. Sometimes it's paperwork, patience, and letting truth do the talking. And sometimes staying calm is the most powerful move you'll ever make. Please like, comment, and subscribe.